Welcome to today's edition of Sport SA Daily Diary, where we'll be chatting to South African football's most capped player, Banyana Banyana captain, Janine van Wyk. Good morning, Janine. How are you today on lock day 14, I think we are today?
Well, I'm very well, thank you. I thought 2 weeks in I would be laying in my bed and not doing anything, but found myself busy, keeping myself busy, and yeah, it's something that we have to do, something that we have to adapt to as human beings, and yeah, just staying at home and make sure everyone else around you is safe.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a challenge, and I would imagine for active sportsmen like yourself, it's even more of a challenge because you can only, I presume, run a little bit in your garden or your house or do a little bit of exercise, not what you used to.
Yeah, definitely. Trying to find some programs on YouTube, which has come quite handy. Not used to doing cardio exercises without, a full field. And right now, you happen to have only like 5 meters in your garden. You can, so it's just, adapting to everything and trying to improvise where you can, and just trying to stay positive, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing is the positiveness, because in this lockdown you could very quickly get negative, and I suppose all sorts of things could go wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the main thing is for everyone to stay positive, stay healthy, and know that you are staying at home. By you staying at home, you obviously, saving everyone else around you, including yourself. It is scary out there what is happening around us. And I think we just need to follow the strict guidelines of our government to ensure that, we're taking precautions of whatever we are doing. I know there are a lot of people out there that are still out and taking chances with their lives and the lives of others, but it's a world full of people with their own opinions about things. But we just have to, for us, stay at home and just know that you are keeping others safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Janine, let's talk football. Obviously, it's your absolute love. It's a massive passion of mine as well. You started playing when you were 5.
Yes, that's a very long time ago. I started playing when I was 5 with the boys. Obviously, back then there weren't many girls that played the game. I was the only girl in my team at the club in the league itself. So it was quite challenging for me back then, but I enjoyed it so much. I played football in the garden almost every single day with my cousin, and that was obviously where my love started for the game. And obviously watching my uncles and all play the game as well, being on the side of the football field if I wasn't in the garden. So I basically just grew up on the side of the football pitch, and nothing's changed since then because I just continuously find myself on the football pitch. But I love it, and it's my life.
And were you holding your own with the boys at that age, sort of younger years and early teens? Were you up there and holding your own? Were you as good as they were, if not better?
Yeah, I think so. I would hope so. I think if I wasn't able to adapt, if I wasn't able to compete against them, or just continue, put my head down, and just continue whatever would head my way, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I do think that I had a good supporting structure with my parents and my family that continuously, pushed me and guided me in whatever came my way. But yeah, I could really compete against the boys. I think that is where I got my defensive strengths from, is because I was pushed around so often, and I just got back up and carried on, and I would kick the boys as well because they also needed to taste their own medicine. And I think that is why, since I was little, I gained a lot of knowledge and strength from playing in that position, in a defensive role, being that leader in the back, and just showcasing what I was made of.
Do you think that that learning growing up helped you read the game a lot better than a lot of other players who may not have been in the situation that you were in?
Yeah, I do think so. I think I gained a lot of knowledge about the game, being able to read the game from the back. My uncle, being a professional player himself back in the day, also guided me in the right direction of it. My father was a rugby guy, so he was just on the side of the pitch, just cheering me on. Very bad loser. He hated to lose again. But I think that's where I get a little bit of, competitiveness in me, because I hate to lose. But I just don't show it as much as he did. But just being on the pitch and having the guidance of my coaches and especially my uncle helped me a lot in my game.
Yeah. And your games developed over the years. I mean, you started at Sweepers and Springs. You went on to Morocco Swallows. Then you went on to Palace Super Falcons, and you won 3 consecutive league titles. Talk to us about that. I mean, that must have been an amazing time in your career.
Yeah, that was a really good time in my career, where I started feeling that I'm getting somewhere with my football. Back then, it was a matter of to university to pursue my studies. I had no clue what I wanted to be, what I wanted to do, because I was all like football orientated, and nothing touched me as much as football did. So I knew that I had to make something of my football and my talent in the game. And when I started winning medals, I had more confidence as a player, and I started setting dreams for myself and goals for myself to, stay in the national team, play professionally abroad. When I first heard about the leagues abroad for women, there weren't many female players, football players that played abroad. Not many people spoke about women's football in our country, and when they did, they always asked about Portia Modise, and I wanted to be that player that everyone was talking about. So that time in my career, I started putting a lot of work in. I did extra training at home. I had extra training with my coaches from boys clubs, to ensure that I stay in the game and I stay on top of my game. And obviously winning those medals, obviously for all of us, we love to win. So it was a point in my career where I knew that it's time for me to stop stepping up and work hard towards what I want.
Yeah. And before we get to your international career, Janine, you then went off to Houston Dash in the US, probably the best place for a woman footballer to go. Football in the US for women is absolutely massive. They're the strongest nation quite comfortably. How was that experience, and was that level of football a real step up? Did you have to step up your game even further going off to the US?
Yeah, definitely. I think going overseas at age 29, thought, by 26, 27, that it was over for me. My dream of playing abroad was completely crushed, because there's not many teams, especially professional teams, that take older athletes. They look for the young up-and-coming stars that come. And I think my breakthrough was in Rio, at the Rio Olympics in 2016, where obviously we competed at a high level. There were clubs and coaches that looked for players. And after that, I got a call from the Houston Dash, from Randy Veldrum, the coach at Houston Dash, and he approached me and asked me to join the team. And I was absolutely shocked. I couldn't sleep for a couple of days after that call, because I was at the age of 29, and although think that your peak is 26, 27, I think that was really after the Olympic Games. That was when I started peaking. That was when I was at the peak of my career, I believe. And there were many opportunities before that, where I went to England, Bristol, I went to Denmark for engineering before the last 14-year ring, where I had opportunities to play, but the time wasn't right. I wasn't experienced enough. And it wasn't, I didn't feel ready as a player. And going to the States, I felt ready. I felt confident. I've been captaining the national team. So I was highly confident as a player. But when you get there, all of those accolades and achievements fall away. It's about you stepping up every single day, in that league, and whether it is just a normal recovery training session or intense match, everyone takes it seriously. So I had to step up for myself. I had to prove myself to my teammates, to the coach that wanted me, and it was pretty tough, I won't lie. Apart from staying alone and being alone, or staying with 3 other Brazilians in my first year where they couldn't speak a word of English, was quite challenging. But on the field, it was extremely, extremely competitive amongst our team, and the players. And then, of course, playing in that league, every single match was highly competitive, as if you're playing the World Cup final. But I drew so much, respect for that league, and expectation of other players around me currently, whether it's in South Africa, whether it's at a youth level, that everyone needs to bring their part and give 100% no matter what they do. So that is in me, that is in my blood at the moment. And that is all from my experience in the US.
I mean, that's an amazing experience to get and to bring back to younger South Africans. And was the support in the US, I mean, it must have been significantly different to what it is here. South African women's football is still developing here. There it's developed, where the stadium's packed, and I mean, the support like what you watch on TV for other leagues, men's leagues across the world?
Well, look, I mean, women's football is on the rise. It's probably the biggest league for women's football in the world is in the States. And the biggest crowd that I played in was in Portland when we played Portland Thorns. It was I think there was a record crowd of 21,000 spectators. And for me, it was the most amazing time of my career in that stadium, even though we lost that game. Portland Thorns are just on another level, their team, and playing in such an enclosed stadium with people coming out to support women's football and their team. Even after the game, people would scream my name just for an autograph, and I wasn't even part of their team. So that made me feel good, and that made me feel like a professional athlete, a professional football player. Whereas here in South Africa, you don't get that. You don't get a packed stadium. You're lucky if you get 1,000 people to support women's football at club football. I think for the national team, we are starting to grow. A lot of people know about Banyana Banyana, and they come out to support us, especially after qualifying for the World Cup and participating in it. You get more people to the stadium. But before that, there were really people that came out to support. But the States was just absolutely amazing, and a lot of people and a lot of players dream to play in that specific league because of the support that they get and the feeling that they get of knowing that you are playing in a professional structure.
And the toughest opponent you came up against in the US?
Look, they were all tough. I won't lie. I really won't lie. But Christine Sinclair, Canadian striker, legend. She's one of, I mean, she doesn't have the strength like, your Tobin Heaths and Megan Rapinoe's have, but she just finds herself in position where you think you have her in your pocket, and the next minute you look, she's scoring a goal. She finds herself in perfect positions. You continuously have to see where she's going in order to pick her up. The next person I played against, the next toughest person was probably Megan Rapinoe. I feel she's probably the best player in the world at the moment, but just her skill, her alertness on the field, and just her delivery of her distributions, and obviously scoring goals, spectacular goals that she scores from all kinds of angles. But again, in such a league, you come across players you didn't even know before, that are highly talented and really tough to play against.
Yeah, we're going to come back to that point of spectacular goals now. But before we do that, Megan's actually done a massive amount for women's football across the world, hasn't she? Since the World Cup, she's out there, she's vocal, she's really an ambassador for the game, and much like you are in South Africa.
Yeah, I think Megan is probably the voice of women's football at the moment. Before her, it was Hope Solo. And it all is because they are American, they are outspoken, they have rights, they are confident in what they do. And even on the field, that's when I spoke about training, they come to the pitch and they know what they want. They know what they're there for. And I feel it's just an American way of growing up. I mean, you look at videos of young kids at 4 years old that have talent and that are not shy to sing in front of a crowd of people or do it or make something out of their talent in front of so many people. But yeah, I think Megan is the voice of women's football in the world, and I try and not, I wouldn't say imitate her, but I try do my part to also encourage, female footballers that we too have a stand. We have rights. We need to fight for equality, and not to that extent that she does, but for me, it's all about giving back, giving young girls hope to follow their dreams, in that sense. So that is my part in what I'm trying to do here in South Africa.
And you do that very well through your own club. But Janine, back to spectacular goals. You made your debut for Banyana Banyana in 2005 against Nigeria. You scored an absolute corker, and you guys went on to win the game. A big moment for Banyana.
Yes, definitely. Although I scored that goal, we did not win the game. The only time we ever beat Nigeria was the first time we beat Nigeria was in 2012, just after the London Olympics, which in fact I did score the goal. It came off from a corner and obviously a long range shot into goal, and we won 1-0. That was probably one of my highlights, beating Nigeria for the very first time, because we had been struggling to do so since I joined the team in 2005, and that we never beat Nigeria. So that was a highlight for me. And then obviously in 2018, when we beat Nigeria again in the first round of the African Women's Championship, when Thembi Kgatlana scored the goal. So we only have ever beat Nigeria twice, which obviously I believe more will come. But yeah, it's been an amazing journey for me, leading up until now with the national team since 2005. A lot of ups and downs, roller coaster moments, moments where I thought I've had enough, and moments where I thought, I was so silly to think I had enough, because I had so much more to achieve, and that I have achieved. And it's been an amazing career for me.
It has been an amazing career and a long one, with some huge standout points. You've been to the Olympics. You've captained your country in a World Cup. You are the highest capped footballer in the country, man, woman, whatever, with over 100 or 170 caps now. Is there a standout moment in your international career with Banyana Banyana that you look back and think, that was my moment, that is something that will live with me for the rest of my life?
Definitely, without a doubt, the World Cup. FIFA Women's World Cup, leading my team, leading my country out on the field for the very first time in history. That is a moment that will stick with me for the rest of my life as a highlight in the pinnacle of my career. It's something that I worked towards for so long. The moments that I failed to qualify for the World Cup, I think it was 3 times in my career. And finally, at the age of 32, it happened that we managed to qualify for the World Cup. So, I can easily say my boots are hung up, I'm done. But obviously, me being so competitive and always want more and hungry to achieve more, I wouldn't do that. But that is a satisfaction that I got out of, playing at the World Cup and, representing my country at the highest stage.
And no one's certainly going to surpass that number of caps that you've got in the short future, or if ever. So, I mean, that's an unbelievable achievement. There's not many people in the world, never mind just in South Africa, that have got that amount of caps for their national side.
Yeah, I think for me, it's been a long journey with the national team. It's been an intense one. It's been very extremely exciting one. And I never thought that I would get this far in my career. And I think the only thing that got me to this stage in my career is my drive and my passion and love for the game. Every single day I wake up, I know I need to give extra. I know I need to be better than yesterday. I work hard, I train hard, and there are times where I feel like I can't enough. But those are the days that you need your support. People that support you, the people that will lift you up, people that will feed you positivity, people to reassure you why you're doing it. And I think every athlete goes through that stage in life where you feel that you can't go any longer. But that's when you need to realize that you, as yourself, you need a break. Your body and mind needs a break. So it is okay to rest and take a breather and go again when you feel that you're ready to do that. And I think that is what's helped me get to where I am today and how far I've come in my football, is just, grasping some air and then just going again after feeling, distraught, after feeling that you've failed or faced failure, that you can't go anymore, or you can't achieve anymore. But there's always something to achieve. And if you just set small little targets for yourself to achieve, eventually when you look again, you had achieved so much. And I think that is what I've done throughout my journey.
And Janine, you don't have only a passion for your own game, you also have a passion for Manchester United. Has that always been part of your journey?
Yeah, brightly I smile when you speak about Man United. But that was obviously, I think that is another factor of why I am the footballer I am today. I watched football from a very, very young age, and a lot of players watch the game nowadays just because it's their favorite team, but they don't watch to learn. And I keep telling the younger players, if you just sit and watch football and watch players in your position, or pick a player that you look up to and then try and, imitate what that player does on and off the field, it will get you quite far. And I think that's what I've done from a young age. My uncle, my parents, they were all Manchester United fans, which is probably why I am a Man United fan. But I enjoyed watching them play. They played good football, and the player that I looked up to was David Beckham as a player, and I would watch him score all these spectacular goals, free kicks, deliver good crosses. And although I didn't play in his position, I was a free kick taker myself. So I was out, spray painting our walls, and my dad nearly killed me because I was spray painting the walls just for target shots. But Man United has been a big part of my football and what I love to do. And even though the past 2, 3, 4 years since Alex Ferguson's left has been really frustrating, but now that Ollie's taken over, a lot of people have their doubts. But I think he's bringing the football back in Manchester United, and what club they are about. And I am enjoying watching them play. I do agree that you have to have a lot of youngsters within your squad, along with your experienced players, to have a good balance. And that's exactly what he's done. So my favorite player at the moment is Scott McTominay. I think he's a hard worker. He, in defense, in attack, he does his job well. And I just love to watch him grind it out every single game.
Yeah, he certainly goes in 100%. Back to David Beckham, I think what a lot of up-and-coming aspiring footballers, and maybe you can touch on this and give some advice, is they don't see what the footballers are doing behind the scenes. So in order for David Beckham to master the free kicks that he was doing in most games, he had to practice 200, 300, 400, 500 a day before, or after training. Is that something that you looked at doing as well? And is that advice you would give a youngster growing up wanting to be a professional footballer? What piece of advice would you give to a young girl or a young boy, whoever, that wanted to make football a career for themselves?
I would say that the moments that you shine are the times that no one watches you. And I feel that the hard work is always done behind the scenes. And that is where you'll benefit from within your game. And a lot of people now, a lot of the youngsters, all of us currently now have access to our role models because they post on social media so often. They show what they are doing. They prove that their hard work is showcasing on the field. Or paying off on the field or in the game that they play. Whereas back then we didn't have access to that at all. We just, saw it happen and thought, okay, well, training it once a day is going to make me become David Beckham. But it's really the hard work that you put in while no one else is watching, how you're grinding while no one else is watching. That is when it matters the most. Well, for me, and when you work hard at home and you grind it out, and it will show in your game that you are the hardworking player. I mean, people talk about Ronaldo always being the first at the field, always being the last player to leave, and doing a bit of extra work. I mean, many of his teammates have told the world what he does. And you can see it. He's one of the top athletes in the world at the moment, but that is because of his hard work. And yes, he posts pictures of him being in his gym, in his nice, beautiful home, but people don't see what he actually does behind the scenes and his hours and hours long training sessions that he has. So it is all about what you put in when no one else is watching.
Yeah. And what does the future hold for Janine? Obviously, a season or two more playing, management, coaching.
I really enjoy coaching. I really enjoy sharing our knowledge to youngsters, which is why I had, started a girls' football club. Is because I want to give young girls an opportunity to play the game and learn the game from me and other people around them. So I think for me, I've done my CAF B coaching license. Obviously, I need to do A. I would love to do A for badges in the near future when I'm done playing. I still believe that I have probably about 3 to 5 years left of playing. That is if I keep myself nice, fit and strong and healthy. But my focus is really on coaching, and whether it's coaching the young ones, whether it's coaching Banyana Banyana one day, whether it's coaching abroad, but just so I myself can share my knowledge and experiences with players and helping them grow the game.
Brilliant. Janine, thank you so much for your time today. It's been great chatting and really just talk football all day. Good luck with the rest of the lockdown and what the future holds for you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your time, and thank you for having me on your show.
It's been brilliant. Thanks, Janine.
Pleasure. Have a good day.
You too. Look out for tomorrow's edition of Sport SA Daily Diary, where we'll be chatting to ex-Springbok Sevens captain Kyle Brown.